You mentioned automatic content recognition, or ACR. Can you tell us a bit about what that's all about?
Sure. Automatic content recognition has actually been around for a while. Arbitron uses a version of it with their PPM system. Um, there's all sorts of apps that do it now, where SoundHound, where you put your smartphone up and listen to the song, and it gives you the lyrics. And what it means is you're automatically recognizing content by taking a small snippet, right, of sound. Typically, the way it works is you take that snippet of sound and you turn it into a string of numbers. So it's called hashing the sound. That's important for two reasons. One is it preserves privacy, meaning you take that sound sample and you turn it into a string of numbers, which actually cannot be then turned back into sound. So now that's safe, privacy-wise, to sort of move around. And you discard the sound sample. What we do with that numeric hash, now that we've got it, is we compare that in pretty close to real time to a database of literally 100 different channels, TV channels, with 7-day history. And the servers look for a match. And if it finds a match, it says, oh, based on our records, it was this TV show. And that log is sent back to the device. Or it says, we can't find a match. And it sends back no match. And we log that on the device. And we do that process every minute during the day. And we have that record of what what each panelist is potentially watching on the big screen.
What would cause a no match?
Lots and lots and lots of things will cause a no match. The biggest thing we see is, ambient noise, meaning if you are in a loud room with a quiet TV, you may not get a match because there's lots of ambient sound. The other things are a quiet spot in the TV show, right? So they're creeping down a hallway. Well, there's not much sound to match, so it comes up with nothing. What we don't see are lots of errors, meaning if it makes a match, it's good enough that it made the match. We in our testing, any error we've seen has turned out to be a database error, not a whoops, it matched against the wrong show. So that's pretty good. But that's why you would get a no match.
Is ACR only based on audio matching?
Well, the technology that we're using is, but certainly there is also picture content recognition. A sort of crude example of that would be the Microsoft Kinect. Microsoft Kinect says, oh, that's a human body. I know that because I recognize the outlines. That's a hand. I know that because I recognize where it exists compared to the rest of the body. And I'm going to, make changes. I'm going to, regard that as an input when someone, opens and closes their hand. So that's automatic picture recognition. That's automatic content recognition, but it's using video instead. So the Kinect is probably a good example of that. Another example, you've probably seen augmented reality on cell phones, where it adds pictures to a video. And again, it's doing some basic recognition. Oh, I recognize that building, I'm going to put this banner here, something like that. So yes, automatic content recognition can be for video as well as audio.
So with ACR, are there universal standards for coding, or are they proprietary? How does that work?
So that's the difference. There's a difference between watermarking and automatic content recognition. So watermarking, tagging, what have you, for starters, there are patents upside down and inside out, about how you can use that, and we don't own any of them. So tagging or watermarking is not something that we do. The advantages of watermarking or tagging are it is very much a sort of positive ID. Oh, this tag was put on this ad or this show, and you have a positive ID of what it is if you get that tag. There's some disadvantages. Audio tags are subject to the same ambient noise limitations. There's a manual process for putting them on. So they can't be in real time. They have to be pre-identified and pre-tagged. The huge advantage of automatic content recognition is a live broadcast on CNN is coded in real time, okay? 5 seconds later, a panelist can send up a sound signature and say, yep, that was CNN. You can't do that with a tag. You can't. It's just the whole way it's set up would be that would have to be pre-coded, right? Here, you know, it's all in real time. So that's the big advantage. The other advantage is that you can code audio that maybe tagging would be hard to do. So automatic content recognition can work for radio, it can work for movies, it can work in cinema trailers. I mean, anything with a sound signature can be ingested and coded, and more importantly, doesn't require the involvement of whoever owns the audio, because they may not want, not that we would do this surreptitiously, but just that they may not want to get into the business of tagging every bit of whatever it is that they're doing. So for the industry, we see automatic content recognition as easier.